Welcome to another episode of the CPG Guys podcast. Our hosts, Sri Rajgopalan, Peter V.S. Bond, and Brian Gildenberg explore how brands and retailers engage consumers in an increasingly digitally driven world. And now, here are the CPG Guys.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the CPG Guys podcast, where we explore the omnichannel digital journey of brands and retailers. I'm, of course, your co-host Sri, and joining me today is my co-host and friend, also known as the data and loyalty guru and the partnership acceleration leader at Essential Digital Commerce, Mr. PVS Bond. Peter, welcome, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Wait, do I have a new job, Sri?
That's what I heard.
Did you hear that?
I did.
Well, that's a new tagline.
Essential Digital Commerce.
I know. I'm very excited to join Essential.
Hallelujah.
It's a great opportunity to get more immersed in the digital shelf and retail media, which is something we may talk a little bit about today.
I don't know anything about that subject.
I know. No, you're
a
novice.
Guest is hopefully going to educate us today.
She'll definitely enlighten us. But no, I'm doing really well. And here we are, Sri. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the 2023 Shop Talk Conference. I don't know about you, but my dogs are barking. I've been walking that show floor for 3 days, and I am going to soak my Tootsies the minute I get home because they are barking.
I bought a measuring tape to see how much thicker my calf muscles are.
Oh, I know.
And I'll do it
We're going to have to do some leg stretches. Plantar fasciitis.
Essential is lucky to have you, Peter. Before we get to our guests, let me remind our audience to visit cpgguys.com, where you can find links to our podcast on all the major platforms. And if you're not already doing so, follow us on LinkedIn, where we publish new comments every single day of the week, even on the weekends, and significant content.
7 days a week?
7 days a week.
If we were Beatles fans, would it be 8 days a week?
We can make that happen.
I think we could.
We could stretch one day.
Let's do it.
Does it have to be 8?
We could go more.
With science and geography.
She blinded me with science.
There we go.
All right.
Please also subscribe to other podcasts in our collective, including the FMCG Guys, CPG Scoop, and the newest edition, CPG Guys Fast Forward, starring our very own Brian Gildenberg. And we're proud to be sponsors of NextUp, formerly known as the Network of Executive Women, whose mission is to advance all women in business and to promote gender equality in the workplace. If you are a female founder or do not have a sponsorship through your organization, please drop us a note at the email address contact@cpgguys.com. Again, that's contact@cpgguys.com, and we are happy to sponsor your membership to this elite organization. The digital liner notes of this episode contain hyperlinks to our site, the other collective podcast sites, of course, our LinkedIn page, and our landing page on NextUp site.
That makes it really easy for someone.
Did I hear we have a landing page called...
We do.
nextupisnow.org/CPG Guys?
/CPG Guys.
That actually exists.
But I mean, you know what this is great about this is that anyone who's listening to this on a mobile device, which is like 90+% of people, they don't even have to write this down. They just go to the digital liner notes and click the hyperlinks.
Well said, Peter. So let's jump into the main event.
Okay.
Our guest today comes with a deep media background that includes Walmart, NBC, Universal Media, Pinterest, Vivo, boy. This is getting elite by the second. With a background in consumer audience development and a strong female leader that I'm proud to call a friend and know in the industry. Join me in welcoming the Vice President and General Manager of the Member Access Platform, also known as MAP, of Sam's Club, Lex Josephs. Lex!
Woo!
We finally did it! Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here, guys. I appreciate you taking the opportunity to meet with me during Shop Talk, during the incredible month of March, where we really focus on women's history and women empowerment.
Another reminder to our audience, the CPG Guys have also created a special Women's Month on the CPG Guys, which is November of every year. And why we chose November has to do with the cause. It's the Pink Month, as you know, where we do also donate to the Susan G. Komen activity. And we only feature female leaders in the month of November because it's important. And so great to have you join us today in the first place. But before we get to the questions we've prepared for our conversation, can you give us a quick 60-second overview for our audience of what MAP is?
Absolutely. So MAP is the Member Access Platform. It is the retail and data media platform within Sam's Club. Our value proposition and our mission is to be the most additive ads experience to our member while simultaneously driving profit and revenue for Sam's Club. So said simply, if our member experience isn't held to the highest regard, then an ads experience won't work because we will alienate our member. And we are a member-obsessed culture, and therefore I'm really, really proud of the fact that we work with so many great people to make MAP a new journey. Shall we use many puns having to do with MAP?
Hey.
I know.
So we'll include links to your LinkedIn profile, MAP's LinkedIn page, and of course Sam's corporate site in the digital line, and also this podcast episode, so that the 90% plus of people listening to this episode on their mobile devices, as Peter said, can make a quick click and find Lex. So I'm going to kick it off with the first question if you're ready. You ready to go?
Yeah.
And now we're going to do Sri's signature moment. Let's get ready to rumble.
We have to pay a royalty fee to that guy who did it.
I feel like you could probably find that at Shop Talk now. You could probably hear that anthem anywhere you go.
Now, you know what the sad part is, Lex? We both have radio faces. Now I don't even have a radio voice. This guy's got it. Mr. Bond's got it.
Hi there. Sorry.
Hello, CPG Guys listeners.
Oh, don't channel your inner Andrea. Andrea, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Lex, your career obviously has elite brands in your background, but cemented in media development and audience. So this is your forte, what you do for the MAP platform. Take us through the years of Vivo, Pinterest, NBC Universal, Walmart, Sam's Club. And the second part of this question is a very important one. You are a female leader in the retail media space. You're trailblazing. You're working for one of the largest Fortune 500s that exist on planet Earth. And what advice in that context would you give to another female who wants to follow you in these footsteps and is early in their career?
Really big question that I will try and answer as succinctly as possible. To understand my career, you need to know 3 things about me. The first is I have 5 sisters. So I am one of 6 daughters, and my mom was the breadwinner. She was an English teacher. The second is I was a really sick kid growing up. So I lived in hospitals from the age of 6 to 18. As a result, technology and entertainment means a lot to me. Mm-hmm. And the third is I didn't really come from financial means. Mm-hmm. So I bring that up because I actually fell in love with media as a way of a sick kid in a hospital. My mom was getting really frustrated that anytime we went to a hospital, she would say, we have to bring records and a record player. And then a couple of years later, it was now we have to bring a boombox and a tape. Then it became, okay, wait, now we have a DVD player, and then it became an iPod. And she said, why does technology keep changing and I have to keep buying it? And so from the bed of a hospital, it became really important to me as a kid to have that access. And so I said, I have no talent in front of the camera, but I feel like I need to be in this industry where people have to keep buying stuff. And so my life started in sales. I worked my way through University of Michigan as a waitress, and I learned the importance of listening. And that was really the dynamic, is that the greater you listened, the better tips were, because you understood what the order was and if there were allergies or anything like that. So what I started doing was just really being a voracious reader of how customer behavior kept pivoting based on technology. Mm-hmm. So the first medium that I learned was print. I started at Fairchild Publications. My claim to fame is that my first sales job was my clientele were psychics and various manufacturers. And the meaning of dialing for dollars and taking no without taking no for an answer, you just keep going. And let me tell you, charging somebody for the word and versus the symbol meant a lot. And so that was my classified beginning. After learning print, I moved into digital, where I was working in the bridal industry for brides, Modern Bride and Elegant Bride, a recession-proof market, may I say. And then from there, I started just learning video. I went to Hulu. I learned TV by going to CBS and NBC. I learned social by going to Pinterest. And now I'm in this incredible world of data and retail. So I just kept looking at what customers were doing, and I just kept learning. So that's the answer to the first part. Did I nail it?
You nailed it.
Boom.
Certainly
drop the mic.
Okay. So that's kind of part 1.
You certainly nailed it. And the reason, and what better person to lead a media revolution in retail than someone who understands offsite, onsite, multiple platforms.
Yes.
And so lucky to have you.
Oh, I'm lucky to be here. Thanks for being my friend, Sri. Thanks for being my friend, Peter. So the second question, being a leader within Sam's Club, it is a dream. And if someone said to me, Lex, in 2023, the following is going to take place. You are going to have a female CEO named Kath McClay. And you're going to have a boss named Diana Marshall, who is our Chief Growth Officer. You are going to work with Megan Crozier, our Chief Merchandise Officer. You're going to work with Sierra Anfield, our Chief Marketing and Membership Officer. You're going to partner with our General Counsel, who is a female. You're going to work with our Head of Strategy, who is a female. And you yourself are going to run the ads business. I would not think that that was possible. But it is incredible to not only work for a female CEO and a female leadership team, but to even be considered amongst the team in itself. So I would say that just gives me a lot of hope and excitement, and I can very much relate to the sisterhood I grew up with, and now this incredible leadership team that I get to learn from. But my advice to all of you women out there who want to be the quirky person that I am, make sure that your brand stands for something that can stand the test of time. There are too many women who dedicate a lot of focus to their look. Your looks change over time. Trust me, I have 2 children. It's different now than it was when I was 18. And I will tell you that if you can anchor to your intelligence, your personality, your sense of humor, your drive, your written capability, your intellectual capability, that stands the test of time. So that would be my advice.
Few Peter are changing looks. We're now off the hook, except we're not female.
I don't know.
She said
you're measuring your calf.
Some I am tonight. I bought a measuring tape.
The bar was pretty low to start with for us.
I know, there was no bar. We couldn't find the bar. It was that low.
There was no limbo.
Lower than a worm's belly button now. People are going to figure out how you find that. But one thing I wanted to share, something we share in common, right? You said 6 sisters, right? I have 2 daughters. I came from a family of 2 other brothers. My dad had 7 brothers. Wasn't exposed to a lot of females when I was very young growing up, other than friends, of course. And both my daughters have decided to not be the standard stereotypes. Both are in the entertainment business. I have 3 cats, 3 kittens. They're all female.
Aww.
And so I'm in a house of 6 females.
You are a minority.
Yes. And it's a good thing, Peter.
And it's a good thing.
Yes.
Oh,
trust me what to do.
I have my wife, my daughter, and my female dog. I
met last
we
week.
we are symbiotic there, Shri. Lex, welcome to the podcast. We're so happy to have you here today. What a great conversation. All right, so you mentioned data and the power of that. When I think about Sam's Club, now my background is in loyalty and data. The very pinnacle of attribution. You cannot buy anything at Sam's Club unless you are a member, which means that you have 100% attribution of purchases. Yeah. So the data asset is phenomenal. So that has got to be really incredible in terms of powering Sam's Club Map. So what I want you to do is talk to us about, give our audience an understanding of what MAP involves from an on-site, off-site, in-club perspective. Like, just lay out all the ways brands can really invest in connecting with Sam's Club members.
I may take more than a succinct moment to answer this.
You can.
But I think it's important to start off by understanding the difference between a mass market model and a membership model. The benefits of a mass market model, when you think of something like Walmart, it's incredible reach every week. There is a vast 3P marketplace, and there is an amazing opportunity to engage with customers every single week. Sam's Club as a membership model is a highly curated assortment, and it has a finite number of SKUs because it's the exact right item for that member and it's the exact right service. And we know the 40 years, we were celebrating our birthday this year. Happy 40th Sam's Club. Makes me feel old because it's younger than me. But that being said...
Everything's younger than Shri and me. Trust me.
But that being said, it is 40 years of data. And so we know everything about the lifetime value of the member. We understand the phases of life that member has gone through. And we understand the assortment that needs to be selected based on what the members are telling us. So really different models. And Judith McKenna, who's our CEO of Walmart International, who spoke today at Shop Talk, she sums it up best. You need to know complexity and you need to know scale. And MAP and Walmart allow you to do both. And so that just gives a little bit of a high purview of why you need both. In terms of what we can do within the MAP platform, because again, it's complex, but allows us to move very quickly. The first and foremost was, how do we connect the data strategy from what a supplier can learn about their sales and what a campaign from a marketer perspective, what they're trying to achieve. And so we have this incredible platform called Madrid 2.0. And what we're doing this year is we're connecting the MAP campaign data into the Madrid supplier data. So this way we have an ecosystem that we partner with Circana, which is the new brand on behalf of the merger between NPD and IRI. And we work with them so that this way a partner can say, okay, well, This is how sales are translating, and this is how my campaign is translating. Got it. So the cornerstone was data. But when I take a step back and I think about what MAP allows us to do, MAP starts with the member experience. And so I'm going to sum up what we can do offsite, onsite, in-app, and whatnot by using the member experience. Right now, if you were to look at membership behavior, 51% of them start searching as soon as they go into the app. So the first thing that we needed to do was we needed to launch a search experience because that was additive to the member experience. Okay, so we launched a search experience. So that means that within app and on desktop, I can now search. But then we realized, okay, but now that they're searching, what does that mean when they then shop in the club? And so about a week ago, we actually launched in-club sponsored product attribution, because what we understood was that we needed to be able to link measurement of when I search and then what if I go buy an item in the club, what's the measurement from it? And so when we talk about omni-measurement, omni-capability, again, in a complex yet very quick-moving membership environment, those are two examples of what we can do. Another example of what we can do is we understand that members exist not just within our app and on our desktop and within Club, but there's a vast universe of them offsite or in a lot of other digital platforms. And so what we're also able to do is we can do retargeting in a way that doesn't upset the member. So Peter and Shri, let's see, you guys made a whole bunch of references before to measuring ankles, to Whoop, There It Is, or maybe Jock Jam's album 1. I'm not really sure what song you guys were referring to.
Said the word, now I got to do it.
Oh, don't get him started on rap music. Oh, you opened up Pandora's box.
All I'm
We're
saying
in the
is
West
that,
Coast. I got to sing California Love.
But all I'm thinking is like maybe you search for Jock Jam's album 1, and now you go onto a various number of platforms, and all you're going to see is Jock Jam's album 1.
Right.
We can actually make sure that we inhibit that from happening so that a member won't receive that constant messaging, but that we would also provide complementary experiences that maybe they could be interested in this. And so that was a retargeting element that we just recently launched as well in partnership with LiveRamp, the Trade Desk, and working with Circana. So we're doing a lot using our data, but we're in the meet phase. And I bring that up because there's a diamond paradigm within Sam's Club where you have to meet, beat, differentiate, and lead. And that's convenience, price, assortment, you name it. And so when you think about it for FY24 or calendar year 2023, right now we are meeting expectations of what the retail media environment provides. And we're starting to differentiate in terms of our data offering by connecting Madrid and MAP together.
Love that framework. At some point I'm going to come back to it and ask you to say it again. So I'm going to
only
jump.
if you rap.
Oh, California Love. You really want me to do this?
No.
Okay.
Welcome to the bit. Right. So I'm going to jump a little to technology.
Great.
So we are at a conference that's technology enabled, and we're hearing a lot about ChatGPT, AI.
Yes.
Don't worry, I'm not going to go into ChatGPT because I think early days and a lot to be discovered. Many technologies. Peter and I, what was the chat room, Peter, 2 years ago that we jumped
Clubhouse.
Oh, I like the name.
It was this exclusive thing. You had to be member invited. It was the hottest thing in COVID in summer of 2020.
It was the flash in a pan.
6 months later, it vanished.
Okay.
So, but AI, artificial intelligence, is one of those that's here to stay.
Yes.
And it's already on retail media platforms or retail websites. So I'd love to hear from you, especially as a female leader, your connection to technology. How are you connecting your kids to technology? How are you enabling them, especially your daughter?
Okay.
And more importantly, even in your day job, how are you bringing technology to the MAP platform so the member, with the member obsession you guys do have at Sam's, can benefit from technology?
So I'll start with that last question first. We have an incredible team that's led by Tim Simmons and Vinod, both our Chief Technology Officer as well as our Chief Product Officer. And they leverage AI across a multitude of segments. So whether it's supply chain, understanding how we're working with associates as well as members in the club, working on a really great initiative called Scan and Go, which enables members to inevitably scan their items and go as opposed to lifting things off any type of cart. We are leveraging AI across a lot of segments. How I am helping bring technology into Sam's Club is that I do a lot of listening. It kind of goes back to my days as a waitress, quite frankly. But I do a lot of listening to our partners, and I do a lot of listening to our members regarding what it is that they would find additive versus what would be a bit detrimental or reductive to their experience. So as an example, recently it was a big deal internally, but we had a process that took 38 steps. And we listened to the feedback, fixed it, and now it's down to 8 steps. And so just internally, even being able to use technology in a way where it helps with process efficiency is a really important step. As it relates to my kids and technology, I have 2 very different children, as all of us probably do. Our kids are really different. But my son, who is almost 11, has a number of different anxieties that we manage through. And my daughter, who's a little bit like a unicorn and a spark plug, she is almost 7. Jordan, my daughter, she leverages technology because she loves watching any type of dance video. And she likes to actually learn the moves. And so she enjoys breaking it down. She does not watch TikTok. She watches a very YouTube kids-friendly version, but she likes to see the various elements broken down. Mason, on the other hand, he really likes things that are creative. So he gets completely used in a world of Minecraft and Roblox, which I can tell you I don't get. I'm not really sure what's happening.
Roblox is one of the hottest games in the kid space today that brands are starting to pay attention.
Very much
in
so.
a big way.
And he loves this world of being able, as a more introverted child, to go into this world where he can interact in a way that he feels comfortable. I tried to make what I thought was an appropriate technology mom joke where I said, oh, so Roblox is kind of like Second Life, but, years later. And
he just looked at you like a blank face.
So I said,
Lex.
I was like, we were an avatar. And I said, and I used to be a CSI investigator in CSI Second Life that, quite frankly, was on CBS, and I thought it was great. And he looked at me like I had 12 heads and said, what is Second Life? I'm like, it's like the metaverse combined with like a Minecraft and Roblox, and it's kind of great. And so he said, I'm not really sure what life you're up to, but I don't understand what you're saying. So I said, okay, you have Roblox, I have Second Life, we'll call it a day.
There we go. Good outcome for everybody.
Oh my God, I love that. That is phenomenal. Yeah, my daughter looks at me and I try to be hip, and she'd look, even at 4, she realizes, Dad, you're just not hip.
No.
So
I'm at the phase right now where I embarrass my kids intentionally, and they really don't like it.
Don't you love that, Lex?
It's so great.
But it's one of the few benefits that you could just absolutely immerse yourself in.
It's amazing.
Think about this, Lex. My daughters are both in the entertainment business. They go sing at nightclubs. So I'm like the oldest person in the room, and I don't conform to the clothes that they want me to. So I've already begun the journey to embarrass them. It's kind of fun.
Listen, my son, Mason likes to play the electric guitar, and he's very good at it. But his band was doing all music inspired by CBGB. So I had to explain what CBGB was in New York City. Mm-hmm. So I decided, what better way to show up to his recital than wearing an entire outfit inspired by CBGB artists. So I wore police sweatpants, a Blondie t-shirt, as well as a massive CBGB sweatshirt and an adjacent hat. And he looked at me and said, no, just wear jeans and a t-shirt. And I said, no, I can't do that. And he said, then you have to sit in the back. I said, okay.
Oh my goodness. All right. That's great. All right. I'm going to kind of change the direction of our conversation. It's been brought to my attention that you are speaking at an event this September at Liberty. What is this event, and why is it so important to you? What is this all about, Lex?
Interesting question, Peter, because it seems like you and Sri have an amazing involvement with this organization called NextUp. So I'm speaking, I have the honor of speaking in September at one of their keynote events, and I'm really excited. I'll be speaking with another woman from Chobani and a number of others, but it's really just talking about female leadership, female empowerment, how we can continue to really promote career progression within the various industries that we all come from. But it's my turn to ask a question, but I feel like you guys have some sort of participation with NextUp that you may have mentioned at the beginning, but possibly people didn't hear it, so maybe you should say it again.
Absolutely, Peter.
Well, as formal partners of NextUp and sponsors of this organization whose mission it is to advance all women in business and promote gender equality, we are afforded 50 memberships, like any other brand that would sponsor. And since it's Sri, me, and Brian, that leaves 47 to give away. So what we're trying to do is make those available to female founders, entrepreneurs, or women that work at organizations that are not part of NextUp, so that they can avail themselves of the networking capability, the educational, the mentoring resources, because listen, I am my mother's son. I watched my mother work through the corporate world and come up against so many ridiculous and absurd obstacles to her growth. And I promised myself that when I got to a point where I could do something about it, I would do something about it. And I'm so grateful that Shri and I have alignment on that. So as we said, for women who are interested in this, reach out to us. We want to use these. They're meaningful. We see the value, and we want to impart that on people that can benefit from it as well.
I mean, thank you both for doing that. Walmart and Sam's Club have a really big partnership with NextUp. In fact, again, Diana Marshall, who's our EVP, Chief Growth Officer, my boss, she's not only an incredible leader, but she does a lot with NextUp, as do a lot of female leaders within Walmart. So thank you both.
At the time of this recording, I will actually be at Bentonville next week with the NextUp leadership team, because I do have a seat on the board and will actually be meeting at the museum.
Oh, sure. Oh,
so
you're going to Crystal Bridges.
Yes, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Let me remind our audience that I'm speaking with Lex Josephs, VP of Member Access Platform at Sam's Club. So I'm going to move a little bit now to a seller, aka a vendor that you partner with. And so can you give our audience an overview of how a seller can connect with MAP? What does it take to begin a partnership and deliver for the actual member?
Absolutely.
And how long would it take to execute a campaign, the first one?
So if I'm going to answer that question in 3 parts. If the goal is to drive sales within Sam's Club and you're looking for a pure play media opportunity, then we have a number of self-service platforms that we can offer you, whether you're going through an API or our self-service system, or you can contact Austin Leonard, head of sales, working for MAP.
Hey. Do we know Austin Leonard, please?
Never heard of him.
No. Was he on the show?
Hey. Austin Leonard was on the show a few months ago. For those of you who want to go back and check out the episode with Austin Leonard, all you got to do is go to cpgguys.com and on the actually on the episodes button, go search for Austin Leonard
or Sam's Club.
Perfect. Well, he now is going to get quite the inbound of activity. But nonetheless, you have a multitude of options, whether it's going through an API partner, using our self-service system, or contacting Austin and his team. In regards to what you want to accomplish as it relates to your campaign or your partnership, it really depends on the objective and also the strategy that you're trying to employ. So I'll give you 2 very different examples. We have partners who, again, their whole goal is to drive sales. And so they use, whether it's our search offering or display offering or programmatic offering, they have a number of options for them to accomplish that goal. There are other suppliers, there are other partners who want to take advantage of something called member-first marketing. And that's working in partnership with Megan Crozier's team, who's our Chief Merchandise Officer, Sierra Anfield, who's our Chief Membership and Marketing Officer, and Austin, our Head of Sales. So as an example, there are a number of partners who want to work extensively with us for back to school or for holiday. And this is an opportunity for partners to go deep with us in seasonal executions that matter most to our member, but also, quite frankly, to their bottom line.
So thank you for giving that great overview. For members who have never worked with you before for MAP, is there any one call out or advice you'd give them?
If there's a partner out there who hasn't worked with us, I would say really understand what your strategy is within Sam's Club first, and then start working with us. So this being said, if you are selling a service within Sam's Club, understand what your strategy is from a merchandise perspective first. Make sure that you have the right abilities to deliver for our member, and then we can enhance that with a partnership on the MAP side.
So the field of retail media is exploding right now. If you believe I think so. If you believe what eMarketer is telling us, last year it was $37 billion. It's expected to be $55 billion by the end of next year. That tells me that there are a whole lot of brands that have to substantially restructure how they're allocating media. Because obviously allocating it to a closed loop performance metric system it's going to be very appealing to them because they actually get an understanding of the performance. So let's talk specifically about performance. What are the various measurement metrics that you offer to brands to help them justify how they are investing in retail media going forward? I mean, how do you live into this spirit of continuous improvement, right? And make sure that you are delivering to brands what they need to help them lean into investing against something like Sam's Club Map?
So I think you just brought up the greatest point about retail media is that if you can't measure it and can't prove the ROI, then something's wrong, right? Because the whole point is to generate and drive more sales, while then potentially moving upper funnel to engage customers and members in new ways, but ultimately to drive conversion. And that's candidly what all of the businesses want to do, both within the Sam's Club enterprise, but also within a supplier or a partner. The way in which we're doing this is, like I said, we started the business of MAP in June of 2022, and we're now March of 2023. So I would say we're in the meet and differentiate phase, where we are meeting industry standards of understanding how we should be measuring incrementality, measuring sales, measuring ROAS, but then starting to differentiate by, again, connecting these two systems of data of the supplier side of Madrid and also the sales and campaign side of MAP. And so I would say we have started, we have a ways to go. We are moving very quickly because I think about where we are now versus 9 to 10 months ago. But that being said, I wouldn't say that we're beating in this area or we're leading in this area yet. And I say yet because I know we will. Given the arsenal of data that we have and given how fast we can move, I have no doubt that we will get there, especially when we have great partners who give us the feedback and we want to listen to it and evolve. But that's where we are right now, is we connecting both sides of the house and making sure that we measure the various standards that have been set by the industry and then figuring out how can we start leading and differentiating in this space.
Thank you, Lex. I've got a simple one for you, and then Peter will close it out with the last question. So you and I briefly chatted in the hallway, or we've seen each other a few times at Shop Talk, and we said females are the best consumers. Why are females the best consumers?
This is a very subjective point of view, but I think we are the best consumers because we genuinely like to research and see the various options that exist. And I think we make more intentional decisions where we're able to say, okay, we understand what we're trying to buy. We understand the competitive atmosphere of that particular product. We understand the pricing, the elements, the attributes, the ingredients, and therefore this is the right one for us. I tend to think that men have a bit more of an impulse and they can be a little bit more generic with their approach of, this is good, I'll take it. But we're a little bit more intentional and we do a little bit more research. We also have quite a dominant voice in the household. And so therefore we are able...
I wouldn't know that, Peter. How would I know that? Sorry, Lex. I didn't know that.
Listen, I come from a family where it was 7-1. That was my ratio growing up. So the idea that women didn't have a dominant voice, I didn't understand that. But I think we all are able to articulate to our various partners and our families that here is where the recommendation is. We've done the work, we've done the research, we understand the price comparison, and I think this is the best fit for our family or for ourselves.
Before we wrap up here, Lex, I'll just make a quick comment on that. So a few years ago, I actually worked for Johnson & Johnson, and we would always use the term Chief Care Officer. At first, I didn't know what it meant because I came from PepsiCo, food and beverage world. And then it started resonating me very well. The word care is a very special word because care describes everything you just said. Yes. Taking time and paying attention to details.
Very much so.
And it's a big deal.
All right, let's look to the future because that's where we're heading. Would love some thought from you about, you talked about the meet, beat, differentiate phases. Where is Sam's Map going? What do you see as something that you are focused on that will enhance and be additive to the customer experience of your members?
So I actually recently sought Shree's advice, and I will seek yours as well, Peter. And to everyone who's watching, I'm going to seek your advice as well. But doing search in a membership environment where you have a curated assortment is very different than doing search in a mass market 3P marketplace. So to give this some context, when a member is searching for back to school, there is a finite assortment that's related to back to school, but I have to surface it at the same time. because there's only so many dorm room scenarios that I'm going to provide. There's only so many snacks that I'm going to provide. But I have to surface this in a way that's unique. And so my ask is in a membership environment where it's a curated assortment with using incredible data to personalize the experience. We have to do search really differently. It hasn't been done before. I don't actually know who is the best at this, but I am making a call to action to elicit your help. So I think seeing search in a subscription membership model will be very different. My prediction for the future, you didn't ask it, but I'm going to answer it anyway. I think that voice search is going to just become more and more important. Everyone's listening to you in your home, even if you may think they're not. There are all these robots that eventually the iRobot will happen, but I do think that they're all listening. And so at some point, how do you monetize that, and how does that feed into the home and into retail media?
My daughter knows how to use Alexa better than I do.
Right.
She asks it to play YMCA. She asks what the weather is. And I'm sitting there going, how is a 4-year-old more conversant in this technology? Yes. It just is the way it is.
I also don't get it, but I take time to text. And I'm seeing my son, Mason, just talks into his watch. And I said, just text it. He's like, I don't need to do that. Yeah. I can just talk. And then it writes for me.
It's a very different world we're moving to. Shri?
Indeed, folks. Let me remind our audience that you can find all our content on cpgguys.com on a browser. And of course, if you think your company has some thought leadership to contribute to a community discussion and knowledge share, drop us an email at contact@cpgguys.com. Again, that's contact@cpgguys.com. Maybe you can join us on this podcast just like Lex did. Don't forget to drop us a rating at cpgguys.com, which is on the top navigation bar of the website, cpgguys.com. And I want to sincerely thank our 21K plus followers on LinkedIn. Wow. When we started this, Peter and I had no idea this would become a premier learning platform of transformation for the industry, and that retail media will actually become a niche topic, and we can host so many leaders from some of the largest Fortune 500 companies in retail that exist on the show. You, of course, Lex, being one of them. We can't thank you enough for showing up and actually doing this episode with us. So thank you for being here.
Thank you guys for inviting me. I hope you have an amazing time at Shop Talk.
And Mr. Bond, thank you, of course, for joining me on this episode.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
And it's that moment where you get to summarize what we learned for the audience.
I loved hearing about Lex's career stops in terms of exposing her to all sorts of different types of media, from print all the way up to social and now into retail media. What a great proving ground for experience that makes you a knowledgeable leader to create a new media platform that is respective of this evolution. I think that was really great. I loved her talking about how behind the map platform strategy is this concept of meet, beat, differentiate. That really is a great strategy looking forward to what's going on. Leveraging AI across a multitude of segments is a core component of why Sam's Club and MAP is leading the way in this particular space. In order to do that, it means that you have to not only research, but you have to listen. You have to listen to your members. You have to listen to your associates. You have to listen to your suppliers. You have to listen to your technology partners. That's ultimately what's going to deliver what Lex called an additive experience to their members. And it's great to hear how much she encourages the diverse use of technology in her own household to allow her children to pursue the passions that they have in their own unique paths. It's great to hear that you are as committed to NextUp as we are in the advancement of women in business, and look forward to your participation in this fall's event. In terms of the options for brands to engage with MAP, you've got everything from a self-serve, accessing APIs, to having more managed services programs around key seasonal events to really lean in. It really depends on what is right for the brand, how much you want to lean in. And then in terms of measurement, making sure that you are meeting the objectives of the industry, you're responsive to what brands need for them to justify their investment against your platform, but really trying to move quickly towards delivering best in class, not just adequate, but actually best in class measurement that will exceed the industry expectations. I loved you talking about women being more intentional shoppers, how they go about doing things, and men being more impulsive. Based upon my own purchases, I concur. We'll just leave it at that. And looking towards the future, I love the fact that you have clearly recognized that search in a membership environment is fundamentally different in terms of what its needs are than a mass environment. And while you haven't cracked the code yet, there's a call to say, bring ideas to us. We need to figure out how to invent search that is relevant for our channel, for our customer experience, for our model, and that will ultimately, again, be additive to the experience for customers. So that's what I took from it, Sri.
Lex, how did Peter do? Was that a good wrap-up?
Nailed it.
On that account?
Drop the mic.
On that account, that's a wrap for this episode of the CPG Guys. We will see you soon on another episode. Thank you.
Thank you.
The content in this podcast episode is provided for general informational purposes only. By listening to our episode, you understand that no information contained in this episode should be construed as advice from CPG Guys LLC or the individual author, hosts, or guests, nor is it intended to be a substitute for research on any subject matter. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by CPG Guys LLC. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The views expressed by CPG Guys LLC do not represent the views of their employers or the entity they represent. CPG Guys LLC expressly disclaims any and all liability or responsibility for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, consequential, or other damages arising out of any individual's use of, reference to, or inability to use this podcast or the information we present in this podcast.